whole life, I heard that marriage was hard. Then I got married and realized that marriage is super easy. Oh, honey, I hope you're ready because I'm about to break down why marriage is easy. And I'm going to offer you the simple mindset shift that you can do as soon as today in order to have a more happy, pleasant marriage. And oh, honey, don't worry. If you're single, this episode is for you because I got some for you as well, sis. If you're ready to get started, get your pen, get your ambition planner, get your Post-it, and let's go. Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Deon, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms. And today is the day we're talking about love and marriage, honey. I am so excited about this episode. I have prayed about it. I've meditated on it. I've written a ton of notes about this very topic because I am so passionate about why I feel like marriage is easy. It is so easy to be married to the person that God intended for you to be married to. If you're married to the right man, marriage can be simple. And if you're in a marriage or if you are single, I got something for you today, honey, because we're going to talk about the mindset shift that you can take today to start having a more happy, easy, light, fulfilling, intimate marriage. Because here's what I know. The day that I got married, I had so many well-wishers come up to me and say, girl, I'm so excited for you. I'm going to be praying for you. I hope you have the most successful marriage. But girl, don't forget, marriage is hard. One after another were telling me how hard marriage was. Although it was not my first time hearing it, it was not the time to tell me how hard marriage was 5 minutes after I just said my vows. And the other reality that I had to remember is that the devil would love for us to believe that marriage is hard. That it is the hardest thing that we're going to do. The moment after we say our vows, everything shifts. And now we have to be in this hard, horrible, striving relationship where you just got to sacrifice, you got to give so much. But what I realized is that when I decided to shift my mindset and decide that marriage was easy, that marriage is a humbling union, but it was something that I was going to do every single day with intention. Every single day of my 16-year marriage has been absolutely amazing. And this is the perfect time to talk about marriage because on just September 7th, my husband and I celebrated our 16th year of marriage. We've been together for 23 years, you guys. So I got a little bit of street cred when it comes to talking about how to have a successful marriage. And don't worry, honey, just like I said in the introduction, if you are not married, this episode is for you as well because I'm going to break down the things that you as a single woman need to be on the lookout for to have a healthy and thriving marriage. If you're new here, I help women over 40 to be able to reinvent themselves, prioritize self-care. I talk about all things beauty, fashion, skincare, makeup. So if you are currently on your glow up journey and that is content that you would like to listen to, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and follow all of my content here and on my podcast on Spotify. So imagine this, you're on your reinvention journey. You're losing weight, you're journaling every day, you're praying, you're meditating, you're eating differently, you're smelling good, you're looking different. You've got Post-its all over the house with affirmations written on them. And your man has absolutely no idea what's going on. But here's the deal, men are pretty simple. For the most part, they're pretty laid back. There are 3 things that are really, really important to men in a relationship. 1 is to be heard and to be respected. 2 is financial transparency. And 3 is a healthy sex life. When I look at the statistics, it is so alarming that 50% of marriages end in divorce in the United States. Oh, and don't think, because this is my second marriage, everything's going to be better, because 60% of second marriages end in divorce. And the craziest thing is that there's only 2 main reasons why individuals get divorced. Can you guess what they are? Sex and money. So today, I'm going to offer you some tips to be able to change your marriage mentality. You're on your own glow up journey. You're changing, you're evolving, but now it's also time to bring that husband along with you. I'm going to break down the 3 simple areas that men want the most and how we as women can show up in those areas to ensure that we have a happy and easy marriage. But I have to offer you some disclaimers. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. These are my opinions. I'm just a girl on the internet that's been happily married for a long time. I'm not going to tell you anything that I read. I'm not referencing anybody's books or podcasts. I'm going to sit right here in this camera and tell you what I know. In addition to my disclaimer, I also want to let you know that I'll be talking about some sensitive topics. So if you have impressionable ears in the room, you may want to put in some earbuds. And girl, listen, just because I've been married for a long time doesn't mean that I have all the answers. That is why I am so grateful for BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Because listen, we're juggling a lot. Work, family, life, trying to find that elusive balance. But when was the last time that you took a moment just for yourself? As women, we tend to give and give until we're overwhelmed, completely drained, and there's nothing left for ourselves. Maybe you're going through a major life transition, divorce, empty nest, or just feeling stuck. You're not alone in wondering if this is what life is supposed to look like. At BetterHelp, they connect you with a licensed therapist who understands. Therapy isn't just for when things fall apart. It's a space to talk about your reinvention goals, your fears, and the new version of you that is ready to emerge. Whether you need guidance for navigating a new chapter or simply want someone to listen, BetterHelp can support you. Your future deserves clarity and peace. If you're struggling, consider therapy with our sponsor, BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Deon to receive a discount on your first month of therapy. Start your journey with a therapist who truly gets you today. Okay, sis, I got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to break this video into 2 parts. The first part is going to be for my married girls, and the second part is going to be for those who are single. But don't you dare fast forward this video to get to the part that's applicable to you, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're married or if you're single, all of this information applies. The first thing that you need to know in order to shift your marriage mentality is that men just want to be heard and respected. We've heard it over and over again, but we are so powerful. Women hold all the cards in a relationship. Have you ever noticed how you can set the tone and the atmosphere inside your home? The moment that you're pleasant, everyone else is pleasant. The moment that you're speaking kind words and being helpful, you're cleaning up, you're making the meals, you're doing the things in your house that make you feel good, or the roles that you play in your home, you realize that everyone else starts kind of following suit. I'm not talking bad about men, but they really are simple. Men say it all the time. I'm just a simple man, you know what I'm saying? And all they want to do is be able to come to a house where their woman is happy, she's healthy, she feels grateful for her life. All that men really want is to be in an environment where they feel trusted, loved, and respected. And it's up to us to create that atmosphere in the home. Whenever we're communicating with our partner, it is so important to be able to create a safe space where he or she feels as if they can sit down and talk to you about whatever is going on in their life. Being able to have open communication before the conversation escalates makes for a real judgment-free zone. You really feel like you're heard, loved, respected. The opinions that you have, the feelings that you have towards a situation are actually valid. Imagine if you sat down and talked to your husband about something and everything that you said he dismissed, like, no, but actually, are you going to feel as if they actually hear anything that you're saying? So the very first way that you can make your partner feel heard and respected is to show appreciation and acknowledge their effort. Regularly expressing gratitude goes so much further than we give it credit for. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where, because this is your role, I don't have to say thank you because you know I thank you. You know I'm grateful. It's like somebody saying, you know I love you. As opposed to just telling the person that they love them, they're supposed to know that you love them from the last time you told them. Providing emotional support, helping out with household tasks, recognizing the value that your partner brings to the relationship makes him feel appreciated and respected. Number 2 is that you support his goals and ambitions. Now hold on now, you sitting up here changing, reinventing yourself. You got your Post-its all over the house, but you can't actually show up for his ambitions. You can't acknowledge his goals. You're not rooting for him. When you show genuine interest in your partner's ambitions, it's like a light goes off in their eyes. They just feel like they're so heard and like, I'm the man, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm about to do this, I'm about to make these moves, and not showing up in a space where you're like, actually what you should do is this. Just listening, let their voice be heard. Provide support with the goals that they need to work on. If they're trying to work out, go out there with them. If they're trying to fix a car in the garage, sit out there and read a book while they're working under the hood. We tend to believe that they just need their own space, they need privacy. But keep in mind your partner's love language. Offer your support, celebrate his achievements. This shows that you respect him and you're rooting for him while he's on his own glow-up journey. And the third tip is to listen without interrupting or critiquing. You know how you do. Man can't get a word out sideways without you having to say something. Just sitting, being present, giving eye contact, scheduling time for you all to talk, because I know your schedules are busy, makes that person feel special, like what they have to say is really that important to you. And it should be. But the moment that you interrupt and have an opinion and have a suggestion, remember the last time, it's the moment that it just feels like you're not actually listening to what I want to say. It's the moment that your partner starts feeling dismissed and like their opinion isn't valuable. This is really just a simple case of, imagine if you were on the other side of that conversation. How many times would you want him to interrupt you and be like, actually, honey, we don't have the money right now for you to do that. You can't do this. Remember the last time you tried to do that and it didn't work out? I mean, why would you try again? We can't have that. We can't do this. You can't go there. Actually, oh, my favorite is, I thought you said you weren't going to do that anymore. Girl, just close your mouth just for a moment and listen. Let him talk. Let him vent. Let him be vulnerable with you. And watch how these 3 steps alone makes your man feel more heard and respected. Number 2, all your man really wants is financial transparency. Remember in the beginning of this episode, I said there are only 2 reasons why marriages break up. It's because of sex and money. Well, here's number 1. Not allowing yourself to be financially transparent is one sure way to be able to break down the trust inside of a marriage. Overspending, being stingy, not being honest, underachieving, not being a wise steward of your money is one of the main reasons why marriage ended in divorce. So knowing this should make you take this that much more seriously. That is why the very first tip that I want to offer in making sure that you have financial transparency in your marriage is to schedule regular financial check-ins and budget meetings. And no, I'm not playing. I'm talking about circling it twice on the calendar. If you want to build trust, transparency, and reduce the scarcity and fear inside of your marriage, start prioritizing a conversation around your money. It's you all's money. You all are in this relationship together. Yeah, you may have separate bank accounts and you all have separate jobs. At the end of the day, you live under the same roof and you have things you need to buy. Monthly, we schedule the Stokes Estates financial meeting and we sit down and talk about our money. Where is it? How much we got? How much we don't got? What do we need for our future? What do we want our future to look like? What is our budget for this month? What are the things that we're prioritizing? What type of debt do we want to eliminate? What causes do we believe in that we want to be able to donate money to? Sitting down and getting on one page about our finances and scheduling a time where we know no phones, no interruptions. We're talking about one of the most important things that's going to help the union of our marriage makes marriage that much more easy. Normalizing talking about your finances in your home reduces the likelihood of individuals sneaking around and spending money where they shouldn't. If I know you have your own spending budget, you can buy whatever you want. You don't have to hide it from me, honey. Whatever you want to buy, it's yours, but we've already allocated money for your spending. We've already allocated money for your Jordan's habit. We've already allocated money for my makeup addiction. So the moment that you see me come in the house with a Sephora bag, your eyebrows not raised. Because we already sat down and we talked about this. All of our bills are paid. Our savings account is looking like it's supposed to. If your girl wants to buy a lip gloss, she can buy her lip gloss, honey. But if you don't talk about your finances and you see somebody always feeling like they always have what they want and you can't ever have the things that you desire, that builds jealousy and resentment. Openly talk about your financial goals. Whether it is that you're saving for a house, you're trying to pay off debt, you're saving money for retirement or to put the kids through college. Having this scheduled meeting is the time to sit and talk about your financial worries and concerns. I will never forget one of our very first meetings. My husband was very honest about how he grew up and the fact that he never wanted his bills to be late. It was the one thing that meant the most to him. And it was during those meetings that I could look in his eye and hear it in his voice that it meant something to him to be able to pay his bills on time. We all have an upbringing that makes us say, you know what, I want to be better than the way that I grew up. And if you really think about it, sometimes it has something to do with finances. I know I'm not the only one that grew up having a scarcity mindset. So being able to have these conversations about your finances with your partner honestly builds intimacy and a deeper understanding about who this individual is, where they came from, and what is most important to them. For the past 16 years, I am so grateful that we have been able to pay our bills on time. But you need to understand, there are times that I want to make a payment arrangement. Like I could just rob Peter a little bit and we can go on this trip and we can have a really good time. But understanding how important it is to my husband means that it's just not worth it. Financial stability looks different for everyone, but having a conversation about where you are financially, what your goals are, what your dreams are, building that financial vision board together helps for you all to be on one accord and more equally yoked. And number 3, and understanding exactly what your man wants and how to make marriage easy is that he wants a healthy and intimate sex life. I already warned you to put those earbuds in before we got to this last point, so I hope you're hearing me loud and clear. This does not come as a surprise, and this is not something that you haven't known your whole life. But just like we can control the atmosphere and environment in our home, we can honestly control the happiness of our husband by being more intimate with him. And yes, I'm actually going to pin some of the responsibility on women. Because number 1 is that we have got to prioritize emotional intimacy. Our emotional connection is actually the foundation of our physical connection. Spending time together, having conversations with each other, being in each other's personal space just builds the intimacy that we need in order to have an amazing physical relationship. Doing activities that you love or simply talking to each other throughout the day can build the intimacy and sexual tension that is going to lead to an absolutely amazing and healthy sex life. I'm not telling you what I read, I'm telling you what I know. Build emotional intimacy with your man and watch him absolutely melt in your hands. Another way to be able to build emotional intimacy in your marriage is to know your partner's love language. I'm going to leave a link to understand the 5 love languages below, but if you and your partner have never taken this test, I highly suggest it. The test has absolutely nothing to do with sex, but it has everything to do with how to speak your partner's love language. How do they feel loved? How do they feel appreciated? Knowing just this little bit of information about your partner is honestly your secret weapon to being able to have a more intimate relationship with your partner. My husband has only one love language. It's quality time. Every single year, we have 52 dates. Every Thursday, you can find me somewhere dating my man. I don't care where I am. I don't care what country I'm in. I don't care what conference I'm at. We're gonna spend time together. Even if that means it's over a Zoom call, we have scheduled and prioritized date night throughout our marriage. Although quality time is not my love language, words of affirmation are. So the moment that I get dressed to go on the date to spend time with him, guess what he gives me? He gives me what I need. I give him what he needs. And our intimacy deepens. If you've never heard of the 5 love languages, you have got to get into this, sis. Make sure that you check out the link below to be able to get all the details. Number 2 is to explore new ways to physically connect. I mean, sex can become the same old thing, doing it the same old way, every single night. And to be honest, it can be boring. Maybe not to your man, but for us, we're far more complicated than that. And so because we are much more complicated and men love a chase, why don't you let him chase you, honey? Give him something different. Turn up the spice. Change the way that you've always made love to your partner. Explore new games and activities and locations. Although sex will not keep a man, withholding sex will keep him away. I'm gonna say that one more time for those of you that weren't listening. Although sex will never keep a man, withholding sex will push him away. And so that's why number 3 is extremely important. We have got to focus on our self-care and our confidence. Because what traditionally happens is that the moment that we start feeling insecure about our bodies and we're getting a little older, their sexual desires are at an all-time high. This is why reinventing ourselves, prioritizing self-care, making sure that we're pouring into our temple and feeling our most confident and highest self is so much more important. I will never say that you need to lose weight to keep a man. But what I will tell you is that confidence in the bedroom can go a long way. The moment that you feel good about your body, you've taken care of your skin, you put on all those lotions, you shaved and touched up some parts, it's the moment that you feel like you want to be able to try something new. You want to keep the lights on for a change. One of the things that I know just helps you feel more confident whenever it comes to having a healthy sexual and intimate relationship with your spouse is that it starts from within. If you don't feel confident, if you don't feel sexy, if you don't feel wanted or desired, that is why communicating when it comes to intimacy and sex is so important. Talk about the things that you're going through, the fears that you have, some of the insecurities that you're experiencing. What I can tell you is the moment that you start being vulnerable with your man about them stretch marks that nobody can see is the moment that he won't be able to keep his hands off. Allowing yourself to be able to express the fears and insecurities that you have around intimacy honestly deepens the relationship and improves the sex life. Okay, as promised, part 2 of this video is for my single ladies because now is the time for you to be able to prepare for a healthy marriage. I know the statistics for a second marriage sound horrible, but they're only 10% worse than the statistics for your first marriage. But you can beat the odds if you, number 1, know your worth. Do not settle whenever it comes to marriage. Choose the person that respects you, sees you, honors you, is rooting for you, prays for you, wants the very best for your life. Number 2 is that you need to practice patience and discernment. You know what I mean whenever I say discernment. Your body knows whenever he's not right. I know you want to go on the date. I know he's whining. I know he's taking you on the trips. But if you want more, if you're ready for your Boaz and you know it's not him, don't waste your time or his. Be patient for the right person to come along. Tell God about the desires of your heart and watch him open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing so much that you're never going to have room enough to receive it. No, that text is not just for money. It's applicable to every area of our life. Take time and find a partner that aligns with your values, your morals, your religious beliefs, even your political beliefs if that is something that's important to you. Nothing is worse than being with a person that you have nothing in common with. But you knew you had nothing in common with that person before you decided to get married to them. But you were being impatient and this was just a man standing in front of you and he wanted to marry you. So you let him put a ring on it, but you have nothing to talk about. You don't enjoy the same things. You can barely communicate with the man. So why get married just for the sake of saying you did it? Be patient and use discernment. And I promise God will give you the desires of your heart. And the last tip for my single ladies is to cultivate healthy relationship habits. This is the time to practice good communication, to set up the boundaries, to practice being the wife that you want to be in your relationship. If you want to be the wife that has the ultra clean house to clean your house, sis, if you want to be the wife that feels confident and sexy in the bedroom, the best time to start that is right now. If you want a healthy relationship, you've got to practice healthy habits now. This is the piece of advice that I wish my mama had told me sooner. And I forgot to mention that my mother is a marriage and family therapist. So yes, I've had a lifetime of intel on how to have a happy marriage. But what I didn't know is the habits that I needed to be able to create before I was married, so it was just that much easier whenever I did get married. Think about the things that you want inside of your marriage. Think about the person that you want to be and how you want to show up. Think about the roles and responsibilities that you want to have. You've got to start creating those habits now. The transparency with money, getting the therapy and the help that you need to unpack the traumas of your past, building the home, having the career, having the confidence, and practicing the self-care that you want today and 30 years from now. Oh, honey, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I told you I was going to go in whenever I talk about marriage being easy, because it is just a mindset shift. You can have the most amazing, enviable marriage by just deciding that every single day I choose to love my partner. I choose to love myself. I choose to allow a threefold cord not to easily be broken. I choose to pray for my spouse. I choose to honor him. I choose to listen. I choose to respect him. I choose to not withhold any good thing from him. And I choose to talk about our finances. These are choices that we get to make. Remember, you control the environment. The happier and healthier you are, the happier your marriage will be. That is why I am so grateful again for BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. If you need help, support, if you have things that are in your present or in your past that you need to talk about, make sure that you click the link below or visit betterhelp.com/Deon to start therapy as soon as today. Ladies, I want to thank you guys so much again for sitting in on this video. I hope that it was helpful, and you know I cannot wait to meet you all in the comment section. I know you all are going to have so many things to say about your relationship, and I cannot wait to unpack all the juicy details there. I wish I could have covered more about this topic, but I got an itchy feeling that there's going to be a part 2 in the future. Until our next video, I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.